Hey, BassGeek here, and fall can be tough, but I've got an incredible 1-2 punch that'll keep you catching bass all day. All right, fishing geeks, I know fall can be extremely tough. It's really tough in my area. Of course, this whole year has been really tough in my area, at least for me. One of my buddies, shout out to Tim, my ledge head guy, told me a long time ago that a lot of times this time of year, it is junk fishing. And it is the worst kind of junk fishing because a lot of times when you catch them on one bait, you just might as well put that bait down and pick up another because they will not bite that bait again. And that is what we've experienced today, except for these two baits that have kept us catching bass all day long. So one thing that I love to do, and I love to do this when I have a partner or somebody else on the boat, I love to give them a Finesse swim bait. I know, geek, surprise, part of this 1-2 punch is going to be a swim bait. And during the fall, it should absolutely be a Finesse swim bait. And one of my favorite heads is the Pulse Fish Lures Finesse swim bait heads. Now these come in a few different colors and a few different sizes. During the fall, one of my favorite sizes is the 1/4 ounce, and this is albino. My other go-to size, and pretty much any time of year, is going to be the 1/8 ounce size, and this is smoke. Now, I love the eyes, and I love the screw lock keeper. Now, it has been brought up to me that some people that use the Elastec style baits, like Z-Man, don't like the screw lock, but I've got a tip to show you that is better than putting glue on a straight shank hook. Number one, you should always have some sort of lighter, preferably some sort of fire starting kit when you're on the boat. You never know what's going to happen where you're going to be on the bank, especially if you're like me and you fish during the winter time. There's not a lot of people on the water, and sometimes if you don't have cell service, which we don't have cell service on this lake at all, you can be stranded for a while. So having some sort of dry fire starting tool it's extremely important. But here's what you do, and this is better than glue. So the very first thing, you know what I'm always going to do, geeks, you hear me talking about it. You can use this as the same as a ball head jig. So you're just going to measure it up here, see where it comes out. And Elastec, I always have to pick a little spot in it because punching a hole just don't do it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get it at least right through the middle. And what's great about these is you can come out the belly. Now that's as far as I'm going to go right now. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stick that hook in the middle and just let it rest there. Now, it doesn't need to glow red. Right there. And then you just twist it up and on. Come through the middle. Come out that hole. Whoops. And there you have it. Better than gluing it on. Quick and easy, and it'll make your Elastec, it'll make your Z-Man and your whoever else makes this sort of stuff, your Nico stuff, last a heck of a lot longer. Catch more fish with that tip. Now, a Finesse swim bait is great in the fall. You can do so many things with it, from open water, or even if I'm not using a swim bait and I'm using a straight tail for bass chasing shad, a lot of times this is even better than a paddle tail. But what's the 2 punch? So when they really get up inside those bigger balls of shad, this is a killer bait. The 2 sizes that I bounce back and forth between, and I just lost my last 3/8 that I had in the boat today, but 1/4 and 3/8 because I can reel them faster. And for me, when it comes through that shad, it just gets more bites. This is a 1/4 ounce. This is also in smoke, but this is the Pulse jig. And I'm gonna tell you, a 1-2 punch when you're using some sort of bladed jig or chatterbait is the skirted version of this. If you stay until the end of the video, I will put a link up so that you can click on it. That thing is amazing. It's much more subtle, but it is an incredible 1-2 punch when it comes to a chatterbait bite. Now, one of the things that I love about their heads is that they are designed to not blow out. So you can fish these as fast as you want, and it's one of the only, I'm gonna call it a scrounger style bait, that will not blow out. As fast as you wanna fish this, you can fish it, and it's not gonna roll to the side and just die with all the action. So you can fish this as slow as you want, or as fast as you want, and they're gonna run true. That's one thing I love about Pulse and their designs. The other thing is they're 100% made in the USA. So geeks, support your companies that make things in the USA. Look, are made in USA things a little more expensive? Yes, but it's because we have a great country and people need to make a living. Support Pulse jigs made in the USA. But when I'm actually using this as a swim bait head, not a Damiki or ball head jig, whatever you want to call it, a minnow bait. For the swim bait head, I like some Finesse swim baits. So let me show you the ones that I like to use with the Pulse head jig. This is a 2.8 Kitech Smallmouth Magic, one of my favorite colors, and it is the Swing Impact Fat. This is the 2.75, it's hard to get more finessey than this. 2.75 X-Zone Swammer, and this is Tennessee Shad. Another great one, and it's super finessey, is the 3-inch Easy Shiner, and this is Threadfin. One of my favorites has got to be the Damiki Armor Shad Paddle Tail, and this is American Shad. Oh yeah, geeks, I almost forgot. These come in a lot of different sizes. Here's a 1 ounce. They come in thicker blades so you can fish them a lot faster, all the way down to an 1/8 ounce. Again, my favorite size is the 1/4 and 3/8 ounce, especially this time of year. One thing I will tell you, I think I left out, I do fish mainly a straight tail. I don't like a paddle tail on here. This is a TFO option, 7-foot medium, fast action. That's the 1/4 ounce right there. And this is the new 7 G5 series. This is a 3000. Of course, I've got K9, I've got the pink braid as my main line, and I've got the Pro 100 100% fluorocarbon and 8-pound test as my main line. Next up, we've got the Finesse head, and I'm gonna fish this on pretty much the same thing. This is a 7.3 medium light plus, so I get a little bit longer casts out of it if I'm out, say, fishing for busting bass. But this is a Resolve. This is their high-end, geeks. I'm telling you right now. By the way, speaking of American made, they have an American made rod, 100% American made. Go check out TFO if you like to support American made products. This is a 7'3" medium light plus. It is a fast action though, Resolve. I've got it on one of the Lew's speed spins. We won't talk about that. And of course, I've got the yellow K9 braid, 10-pound test, even 20-pound test. And I've got 8-pound test Pro 100, 100% fluorocarbon by K9. So there's a lot of situations in the fall where these two are really going to shine and work hand in hand. Let's say you're out there and you're fishing and it's super clear water, the bass are really finicky, this is going to shine. But then they really get into some bigger balls of shad, this is going to shine because it's going to stand out and call them to this bait. If you're fishing around cover, you fish this over top and some of them come up out of the cover, you can run this back through and some of them come up out and commit to it because of the vibration. If you're fishing an area that's clear, you can get away with this, and you can get away with this maybe when you get into an area of a creek or the lake or your pond that's a little more dirty. If they're more active, this is great. Once they get used to this, follow up with this. So there's a lot of different ways to use this hand in hand and see what level of activity the bass are in, what kind of mood they're in with two little baits in the fall. When we talk about fishing these, I'm going to fish the pulse head jig two different ways. Slow, extremely slow, maybe even with some stops, and extremely fast. If I'm in open water and the bass are up shallow and they're busted, I'm going to fish it fast this time of year. If I'm just going down the bank covering water, I'm going to fish it slow. I'm going to contour the bank. I'm going to 45 it and just let it slowly come down the bank and draw those fish up into the bait. With most spinning reels, you're going to see it's a straight up hook set, and that's going to be for both lures, a straight up hook set. And then get your rod tip down, make sure your drag's set right, and get them in the boat. Most of the time you're using light line, you're using smaller hooks. I don't tend to boat hop them unless they're smaller, but just get them in the boat, whether it be a net or get them on the bank, however you can do it best. So when it comes to throwing a swim bait on here, you can burn this, and like I said, it'll stay straight up, and that's actually a great way to get a bite. 90% of the time though, I adjust my weight and reel this really slow. So you can go lighter and keep it up higher in the water column. You can go heavier and keep it down lower in the water column. For the most part, if I'm in open water, I'm just gonna make a long cast, just past to where I see the school of bass or the individual bass I'm throwing at, and I'm just gonna reel it by him so that it kind of shocks him and he just reacts to it when it comes by him. When it comes to the bank, this is one of my favorite things to do in the fall, to search for some just roaming bass that are moving up and down the bank. And I'll take this and I'll throw it as shallow as I can get it. I'll let it hit the bottom. I'll give a little raise of the rod tip to get it up off the bottom, and I'll just contour that bank. And every once in a while, I want to make sure that I'm slowing down as it gets deeper, because I want it to touch bottom every once in a while. I want it swimming very close to the bottom, within a foot. So as I always say, if I'm going too fast, I'm not touching the bottom at all. If I'm going too slow, I'm constantly on the bottom and probably constantly hung up. So find that right reel speed, and this thing will get you crushed. Now, when it comes to hook sets, same exact thing. Straight up, reel down, get them in the boat any which way you can. Hey geeks, try that, and especially try it like you see me and Mike doing right here, you know, working in tandems. Sometimes you can find out the activity level, how active those bass are, by you guys working as a team to figure out the pattern that you need to be fishing this fall. All right, geeks, if you all want to see the skirted pulse jig, I'm telling you, it is a more subtle chatterbait, and when the chatterbait bite dies, that bait will get you a ton more bites. Go check this video out right here. Questions, comments in the comment section below. You geeks know I love to talk fishing with you. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you ring that bell. 100% Watch Squad geeks, I love you. Join the 100% Watch Squad. Hashtag 100% Watch Squad in the comments. And you geeks rock.